Hey everybody, I'm Lauren Davidson and I am so excited to be hanging out with you and to answer a few questions. So here we go. So I grew up singing with my father. Singing has been a part of my entire life and something that I've always loved at a very, very young age. But I didn't know that I wanted to be a songwriter and an artist and sing my own songs until about 5 or 6 years ago when I started having these ideas that I wanted to sit down and write. I actually went to my father and wrote all of my first songs with him, but I grew up on a stage performing in musical theater and knew that I wanted to be on a stage as a career. I'm influenced by so many different artists, including Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, Carole King, Grace Potter, and then in country music, Shania Twain, Carrie Underwood. I'm a big advocate of female voices, and I love female voices, and I'm influenced by that a lot. Yes, so Urban Country Jam is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. I actually co-founded it with my father, who I mentioned earlier that I do some songwriting with. And the idea was just kind of to take control of my own career and my own destiny, and also create this very collaborative and supportive environment, which you don't normally really see in New York. There's a lot of clubs in New York, and it's almost like every man for himself unless you're playing like a major tour and coming through the city with your own bill. So I wanted to create an event that started in my city, in New York City, as this collaborative mini festival that showcases emerging artists and also gives country music fans kind of a one-stop shop to showcase all of these artists. We did the first one back in February at the legendary Cutting Room, and it was so amazing. And I've been able to take it virtually during this time and really look forward to bringing it back out on the road when we can do live shows in some of these major cities, not just New York. One of the things that I always say is that no doesn't mean no. It just doesn't mean right now. I think there's so much going on as an artist, especially an independent artist. You kind of have to wear all these different hats, and it's really hard to kind of split the business and the personal, because your product is yourself, it's your music, it's your stories, and it is so personal. But you have to remember that no just may mean not right now. There's been so many times where I've heard no at one point in time and later heard the yes, and I'm so thankful that I stuck with those things that I wanted, that were important to me, and you should. I think the hardest part about working in the music industry is kind of what I just mentioned before, like being an independent artist specifically, and having to wear so many hats and not necessarily know where to focus your energy at all times, and just kind of follow that gut instinct. It's really easy to second guess yourself, and I think that that is something that I kind of am learning to deal with every single day, in addition to, you know, funding my own career. But on the plus side of that, I'm also in control of every decision that I make and every song that I write and every song that I put out, which is also really empowering, but it also has its difficulties. Yes, so actually a funny story. I was playing a show at Arlene's Grocery a couple of years ago, and at this point in time I was covering Cassidy Pope's Wasting All These Tears, and I was getting ready to go on stage, and Cassidy Pope came in the front door, and I started freaking out. I had watched her on The Voice and really loved her voice and her style and the uniqueness that she had about her, and I loved the song Wasting All These Tears and was playing it with my band, and a weird chain of events. She came up and introduced herself, and then ended up coming up on stage and singing the song with me, and then I got invited to go see her at the PlayStation Theater the next day and hang out with her for a little bit backstage, and with her and her band on the bus. And it was like kind of the first moment for me where I was like, oh, I love this song and I love this artist, and I got to share the stage with her, and it was pretty incredible. Well, I've actually haven't released a full-length album yet. That's definitely something on my bucket list that I hope to do. But I've released 2 EPs so far, and I'm in the process of releasing the third one as singles, even though it is an EP and it has a cohesive theme, which I think is really cool and something different for me to release the songs not all at once, but one at a time throughout the year. And I would say probably I love each EP for a different reason, but I think there's something really special about my debut EP, Hear Me, because it's the first one and all those songs are part of those first batch of songs and stories that kind of came out of me, and I'm attached to each of them for a different reason. So I think if I had to pick one, I would pick my Hear Me EP, which is my first. Thank you. I actually released a ballads EP about 2 years ago, which also showcased that softer side. And I think after releasing these 4 ballads kind of together as a package and playing those songs and riding that wave for a little while creatively as well, that I kind of felt the need, as you say, to be a little more rebellious and rambunctious, and especially when I'm performing with a live band. I've been with my band for a few years now, and we always love to put on this really like high energy show, and also have some of those tender moments. And it has been a little over 2 years since I released a slow ballad, a slow song, something more slow paced, and I really loved kind of taking that breath and releasing Compass in the midst of this EP as well, which is called the Love Ain't Fair EP. It's the only ballad on this EP. So I think moving forward, you'll see a mix of songs from me. I definitely love things that are high energy and sassy, but I also love finding those tender moments and really just stripping down and telling a story in a different way. My music taste depends on my mood. Like there's one day where I want to listen to one song on repeat, and then the next day I want to listen to an album top to bottom, and the next day I'm just kind of like shuffling through and listening to a mix of different things. But since I've been spending a lot more time at home, I usually listen to most of my music from my phone when I'm on the subway, and I haven't been doing that a lot lately. So I've been listening to a lot of Grace Potter, which is not a surprise at all, but she also does a weekly live stream that I've been tuning in and getting reacquainted with some of her old music that I haven't heard in a while, and been listening to a lot of that. I've been listening to a lot of Gavin DeGraw, and then I've been listening to a little bit of country radio, and I love Gabby Barrett's I Hope. So that's kind of like one of my new favorites. It just came out. I'm really, really excited to release this song. It's definitely on the more sassy side, a contrast from Compass for sure, but there's just something about the female empowerment in the story of the song that I just love so much. And I really, really loved co-producing this track in the studio. I co-produced it with Dave Rico and Christian Castro, who I've been co-producing all of these songs with, including Compass as well. And we really got to play around with layering different music lines and different vocal lines, and it's definitely more pop production than anything I've ever released before, and it was just so much fun, and it makes me so excited that you all finally get to hear it. Well, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in and asking these questions and spending some time with me while I answer them. It's been a blast. And also, please check out my new single, Find Me. It's part of my Love Ain't Fair EP. It's the 3rd track on it. And you can follow me at LaurenDavidsonMusic.com, Lauren Davidson Music on Instagram and Facebook. And I hope that you all stay healthy and stay safe. And I can't wait to see you guys real soon. Bye. This is my new single, Find Me. Oh, 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 oh. Run into an old friend I hadn't seen since a past light. Guess we just lost touch, we didn't talk much, you know time flies. After a couple drinks, we didn't skip a beat. Picked up where we left off, back before you found me. Oh, she's a little bit younger, got the hunger that I lost. When I tell her what you did, she said forget him, it's his loss. So I bought another round, bartender pours one shot. Now I'm drinking all alone to someone that I forgot. Didn't know I was so far gone, so you were gone and out of sight. Losing you to find me. Find me, find me, find me. Find me, find me, find me. When we were together, I was never myself, trying to be something that I wasn't. You want something else. So now I'm back to being who I always was. It only took you leaving to see what I've become. Didn't know I was so far gone, so you were gone and out of sight. Who knew all I need was losing you to find me. Never get to start. Remember who I'm supposed to be. But boy, you bucked down. All it took was losing you to find me. Find me, find me, find me. Find me, find me, find me. Didn't know I was so far gone, so you were gone and out of sight. Who knew all I need was losing you to, losing you to, losing you to find me. Thank you guys so much. Once again, you can find me at LaurenDavidsonMusic.com, Lauren Davidson Music on Instagram and Facebook. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you real soon.